chemo chair was ready. The hospital was ready. Her body was not the problem. Her insurance was. Tasha had 10 days to live like treatment was coming, or 10 days to accept that it might not. Welcome to Fearless Stories, where money meets humanity. In today's episode, you'll meet Tasha, not at the finish line, but in the middle of the fight. At 9:41 a.m., Tasha stared at her phone like it was a bomb. One email could decide whether she started chemo on time or watch the calendar outrun her. People think the scariest part of cancer is the diagnosis. Sometimes it's the invoice. Sometimes it's the word denied. Because Tasha didn't lose hope first. She lost time. And time is the one thing you can't refinance. Tasha is 34, African American, born and raised in South Atlanta. She works as a home health aide, carrying other people's pain while pretending hers doesn't exist. Her son, Jaden, is 11. He knows the rules of their apartment. Don't touch mommy's work bag. Don't ask for the brand name snacks. And when she says, "We're good," it means, please don't make me explain what we don't have. Tasha wasn't rich, but she was proud. Bills paid, sometimes late, but paid. Food in the fridge, enough. A small envelope in a drawer labeled just in case. It never got thick, but it made her feel prepared. Then her body changed the plan. The lump was small, easy to ignore. The kind you talk yourself out of when rent is due and work needs coverage. The doctor's face changed before the words did. "We need to run more tests." The results came back on a Tuesday. "It's cancer." Tasha didn't cry. She asked, "Okay, what's next?" And that's when the clock started. "We want you to begin treatment as soon as possible." Soon became a deadline. 2 weeks, chemo start date, paperwork, approvals. Everything moved fast, like it was designed for someone with savings and paid leave. Tasha kept life normal. Laundry folded, lunches packed, smiling when Jaden showed her schoolwork. At night, she searched quietly. What happens if you can't afford treatment? She didn't tell her mother. Panic wouldn't help. She didn't tell her friends. Pity felt heavy, and she didn't tell Jaden, because kids feel fear even when you whisper. She told herself one thing: just get to the start date. The insurance portal loaded slowly like it was deciding something. Then the status appeared. Denied. Prior authorization required. Denied, not delayed. Denied. The representative explained the appeal. 7 to 10 business days. Tasha checked her calendar. Chemo was in 10 days. The next morning, her supervisor pulled her aside. Not angry, just careful. "Your absences are being logged. If this continues, HR will need to step in. I just want you to know where things stand." No threats. Just the quiet truth that illness doesn't pause policy. Tasha tried to fix it the only way she knew how. By trying harder. More calls, more forms, more appeals. She opened the just-in-case envelope. It wasn't safety. It was 2 groceries and a MARTA bus card. And that's when the fear shifted. Not just fear of dying. Fear of leaving her son with bills and unanswered questions. Fear of being remembered as the mother who tried and still couldn't protect him. On the morning of day 10, Tasha sat fully dressed on the edge of her bed, phone in hand. She refreshed the portal. Nothing. She checked her voicemail. Nothing. And the thought arrived, quiet but sharp. What if the clock wins? If you've ever waited on an answer that controlled your next step, money, paperwork, permission to survive, then you know how cruel that silence feels. This is where most stories stop being told. Not because you failed, but because fear convinces you the waiting is the ending. But hear me, the waiting is not your identity. The delay is not your destiny. And the system's silence is not the final word over your life. There's more to Tasha's story. And if you're holding your breath in your own life right now, there's more to yours. Because fear is not your legacy. Freedom is. Before you go, let me ask you something real. Have you ever been in a season where you were doing everything you could and still felt the clock closing in? Drop it in the comments, a word, a sentence, or your story. Do it for the person who's going to read it and realize they're not alone. If this story meant something to you, subscribe and stay with us. There are more stories waiting to be told. You won't want to miss them. I'll see you in the next episode.